All right, what is up, people? How goes it? What is going on? What do we got on here? I gotta send out some messages. What do we got? Drop a question in the chat here. So I'm going to be going over today on my live stream how to ask the right questions. I don't know if I went over this last week, but this is a big thing that I see new agents run into every single week. So I'm going to talk about asking the right questions in the presentation. This is huge. By the way, guys, if any of you want to come into my Zoom, or not my Zoom, my live feed here, all you got to do is post that you want to join. So I'm going to talk about the questions that you are supposed to ask in your presentation. So a way to avoid some of those I have to think about it, people, and the way to figure out, like, hey, who's got the need and who wants, like, who is this worth it? Someone put it to me this someone put it, I'm sending out an email here to get people on here because I have no visitors right now. So I'm just like talking out of my butt, and I want to get more people. So let me go. If you're on here, drop a quick thing in the chat. Yo, what's up? Where is everyone at? Where is everyone at? Hey, Bryant, what's up, man? You're the only one here, dude. Congratulations on your big move. Pumped for you, bro. That's awesome. What I got to do here, I am now live. So, Brian, if you have any questions for me, you can drop them in the chat there. More than happy to help answer you. Bryant, sorry, I think I said that right. Maybe I didn't. If you have any questions for me, just let me know. Drop it in the chat there. I'm going to just send an email here. So I'm going to say, I am now live on YouTube. All right. So anybody here who's in the room, drop a question of what you may have for me about anything final expense related, so, or insurance sales related. How do you deal with let me think about it regarding guaranteed issue? Okay. Since we know they will be approved. So when the client says, let me think about it, is that what you mean? So a client says to you, hey, let me think about it. Okay, yeah. So the way that I deal with that is, look, you're gonna get people who are guaranteed issue, and they're like, let me think about it, and you know that there's not really much for them to think about. So I try to avoid the think about it by asking them certain questions in the beginning. Now, Brian, what you're gonna see, since you're going face to face, you're gonna get less think about it than you do on the phone, but still the same questions apply. So I would ask them, and because when you're face to face, you can ask them these hard questions, and you can like look them in the eye when you're asking them, and it hits a lot harder. So I would say, hey, look, if you went to bed, this is going to help prepare to avoid it, and then I'll talk about handling it. So, still from the last week on your vid. Okay, send me a screenshot and show me. I think the last live posted like twice accidentally, so I don't know why. But so what happens is if someone, when you're asking someone if they have existing coverage or not, okay, and then they tell you yes or no, you could say, okay, now what would this person do? Say you're trying to get them coverage and they wanted to cover their funeral or cremation, and they don't have anything, or maybe they don't think they have enough. Say, what would your beneficiary do tomorrow if you went to bed tonight and didn't wake up tomorrow? Like, what would they do? What would that look like for them? What would their day look like? And you want them to actually answer. Like, what would your beneficiary's day look like if they went to bed tomorrow I mean, if you went to bed tonight and didn't wake up tomorrow, what would their day look like? And then they'll tell you, like, well, they would probably have to go do this, take care of my final arrangements, get all that figured out. Okay, exactly. Now, what would they do for the money? And then would it be hard for them to come up with the money? And what about your insurance that you have now has you looking for something else? Or if they don't have insurance yet, why have you waited so long then? If this is something that's important to you to get done for them, like, why have you waited? Right? Because if you went to bed tonight and didn't wake up tomorrow, then they'd probably be in a tough spot. So why would you wait? And then they're going to tell you, well, I don't know, I put it off, this and that. Now you can also ask someone if you can ask someone, do you just have a bunch of money saved up? Because if they have a bunch of money saved up, then you know you're going to have to approach it maybe a little different in the close, or they kind of have the power in that case. Now, if they tell you that they have to think about it and it's guaranteed issue, you want to isolate. Look, is it the amount of money? Do you think you can't afford this every month? Or do you think you can get something cheaper? Or do you just not want insurance? Like, do you not like the product? Because it really comes down to those. Or like, do you not trust me? Okay? Because I would really just isolate which one of those it is. Because sometimes they'll tell you they got to think about it. Their priorities are just all off. They may be smoking and still hitting an oxygen tank, and they're telling you that they got to think about the insurance. Now, if it's less than $40 a month, I would just leave it alone as it is. All right? If it's less than $40 a month and they're telling you they have to think about it and you're going for the close a couple times, then you can leave it alone. But if someone says that to me and they're guaranteed issue, I'd be like, look, this is without a doubt absolute best program that you can get. Like, no question about it. This is the best program that you can get. Hold on, guys. So, like, why would you even have to think about it? Because I'm finding you the best program in the state. This is all you qualify for. What else is there? Do you think you can't afford it? Or does the program not make sense to you? Or do you just not really know about this company or anything like that? So isolate those three, man. Isolate one of those and figure out what it is. It usually, I've found with GI, it can come down to price and like lack of responsibility on their end. So yeah, and sometimes you got to feel out the situation for what it is. But that's always a tough one for me. I get frustrated when someone's a guaranteed issue and they tell me they got to think about it, because I'm like, dude, what do you got to think about? It's like, this is all you can qualify for. You're probably going to be, you're probably dead in a couple years, like realistically, right? I've said that to people too. Look, because this is the only program you qualify for, you really don't have a long life expectancy. So I'm just confused of what you have to think about. Do you not like that there's a 2-year waiting period? Try to dig in, man, and figure out what it is. In that way. Steve, hey, what's up, Steve? So talk about your use of Facebook lead gen. So Facebook lead gen is how I grew my agency when I started. I actually just got out of an interview with a guy, my really good friend Jeremy. He taught me how to set up Facebook ads when I first started, and he actually he's generated over 500,000 final expense Facebook leads. So he's generated over 500,000 of them. Now, what I did is I would have the lead fill out the form, and then I would have them go to a page that it would prompt them to click to call in. And then because I was hiring a bunch of agents, right? So I had agents, and I wanted them on the phone with someone at all times. Like, if they weren't on the phone, I looked at it as if they were dialing and not talking to someone, it was kind of a waste of time, because I'm spending money on leads anyway, and I want to get them running presentations. So it was, how can I get them on the phone? So I had these landing pages where people would click to call in. If you buy the program called Unbounce, and then I can send you a link for it. It's an affiliate link. It's no discount, but it does help me out. And I have a landing page. Through that landing page builder, I can just send you a free copy of it. It's the exact one that I used, and you just click the button and you can call in and yeah. So, or the client will call in when they fill out the form. So I used Facebook ads really to build my agency. Now I don't know, like the costs may have been different, but that's really what it was. So I would work on follow up with them with text automations. You can put automated text messages throughout like the week, as they just have to opt in to receive automated text. You can legally text people manually on your phone. There's no TCPA against that. You have a landing page. Would ideally like for them to schedule on my Calendly. No, that's not asking too much. I know agents who have made that work. For me, it was like I want them to call in, and I was that crazy dude who would like answer the phone at 2:30 in the morning, and you know, or as long as the Aptical was open, right? Because they're open from like 7 a.m. to 2 a.m. So as long as Aptical was open, I would try to bang that sale. But I also had luck with people scheduling on Calendly. The only thing I would say is make the button on the landing page to schedule your interview very big, or the meeting very big. Like you don't want just like a tiny little thing saying click here to schedule. You want it like big. You want blinking arrows pointing at it. You want like above the fold. So you want it to be like the first thing they see, like schedule an appointment with me. You don't want it like for them to have to scroll down to see schedule the appointment or anything like that. You want it like right there, where they can just see. So I don't know if you know what above the fold means, Steve. Above the fold. Okay. Yeah. Above the fold. Yeah. So you know what that means. So above the fold is just here we go, Bryant. Oh, it's the same thing. That's so weird. Why is it going live there? I don't get that. Hmm. Well, oh, this is it because it was the same. So Telesales Tuesday. Q and A on Telesales. 080222. Thanks, Bryant. I get it, man. There we go. Cool. Yeah, newspaper talk. Yeah, exactly. So have that button above the fold. I'll show you an example on my landing page what it kind of looks like so that you can see what I'm talking about there. I'm going to share my screen here, and you'll be able to see like what I mean on how I have that. So just give me 1 second. I can share my screen. How I have the click to call structured, and you'll see like where. And I've had a ton of success with this. So I would have your button to schedule on the same thing. That makes it a little more convenient, especially like if now not everyone's going to show up to the appointment, but they are definitely if they show up, then they mean it. Then they mean it. They're about that. So I'm going to show you here what it looks like, and so this is the okay. So I'm going to I'm going to do the editor. I think it may share my screen here. Yep, cool. We have the editor. And then I'm going to put what it looks like on mobile. And then I'm going to do a preview. So I'm going to put Justin Von Eigen, Florida. I only put my name, my number, and the state they lived in. Or the name, the number, and the state they live in. I didn't need anything else because I'm like, my goal was to get this person to either like for you it would be to schedule an appointment. So who cares like what their favorite whatever is, or like if who cares what it if you're calling, especially if you're calling it right away, like who cares about all that other stuff. I want their name, I want their phone number, and I want the state they live in so that I know it's even worth calling them. So then I hit learn more, and then what happens here is this button calls up. So click here to schedule. That font could be a little bigger, but this is why I like Unbounce, because these things are called light boxes. And the landing page the thank you page is already built in to the landing page when it loads. So like Unbounce is great because Justin Von Eigen, put my number. Now what happens is they click learn more. The thank you page is already loaded in. So sometimes you lose clients because you lose leads because they click this and the thank you page takes too long to load. So you want this boom, and then you want like click here to schedule your pre-qualification call now. So if I was scheduling an appointment, I would say, it appears you qualify for some additional discounts and benefits. However, a licensed a benefits coordinator must verify some information to confirm click here to schedule your discount and benefit verification appointment. something like that. And then down here, put come with your application number 137 or whatever, so that it says like it makes them feel exclusive, right? Like it's going to say the same thing on everybody's thing, but I would put like that, like click here to schedule your benefit and discount verification appointment, and then below put like your private application number is 137. Save this and bring it to your meeting. So they're like, oh my God, I'm exclusive. You know, it gives like an exclusivity factor to it. So then I would do that, and then have the link here just be towards your calendar, and I think that would help a lot. Above the fold, whoever asked that, what above the fold means? So above the fold, notice how when they open up the phone, and Cynthia, I'm going to get to you in a second here. Notice that above the fold means that they don't have to scroll down to see any calls to action or anything like that. Okay, so above the fold is just like right here. They don't have to scroll down. Now, if this page was long and they had to scroll down to see where they put their name or the call to action, which is learn more. Oh, Darren, yeah. The call to action is learn more. If they had to scroll down to see that, that means it's below the fold. So it's newspaper language, like Steve Eidman was saying, where above the fold, there's like the front page above the fold on the newspaper. So essentially the fold on a landing page is right here, and then you have to scroll down. It's like flipping the newspaper open. So you want to put this here, and then or like right there, and then also the thank you page, that calendar is above the fold. Okay. So now, Cynthia, how many age leads to purchase to write at least 5K a week? You know, I would purchase, if I were you, I would purchase 500 to 750. You're going to write more than that if you work them right, but that gives you a good thing to like branch off of. If you are interested in aged leads, just shoot me an email. I can hook you up with someone who's got like a really good deal on aged Facebook leads. So just email me right there, jve@thejve.com. I'll hook you up with aged Facebook leads. And I'm also, just to help help my buddy out, if anybody, it's a B lead, Darren. So if anybody purchases aged leads, or well, we'll go over it, Darren. Darren's going to be joining up with me. If anybody ends up getting that through, if they just send me the email, I'll connect you with him. And I told him that as an incentive to push people towards his business, because I've been friends with him for a while. I will enroll anybody who purchases X certain amount of leads in my my telesales course at no charge. Okay, so I have a final expense telesales course. I'll enroll you in that. I told him I'd do that as like a way to push people to try his leads out, because it's actually he's really, really good at it. He's like an expert at the lead gen thing, and he's got a surplus of leads, and a lot of people just don't work leads enough. So that's a great way to do it. Bryant said it's a great course. Cool, awesome. So anybody have any other questions for me about marketing, sales? Anybody want to come on live? Anybody want to come on the live and ask me some questions, or bring a call recording for a sales presentation, or have me review something of theirs, or like ask me any questions? Go ahead. Anybody want to come on? I got my back acting up. Oof. Emily with a sale on it. Yeah, what's up? RA Blaze World. If anybody wants to, I know it's talk time, but could you go over an independent versus career captive model of agencies? Yeah. Oh, Telesales Tuesday. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, anything goes with insurance. So I just go Telesales Tuesday because that's my niche here. So independent versus career captive model. So what I'm going to show you is a form here. Hold on. That our president of sales came up with. So essentially, compensation is lower in a captive model. Okay, but so you ever hear of like so Patrick Bet David? You guys know who he is. So he was talking the other day, and Grant Cardone says the same exact thing. These are two very smart guys who started businesses from the ground up, and a couple of them. And someone asked like, "Hey Patrick, what would you if you could like redo stuff and like get back into business? What would you do?" And they asked Grant, and he said, "I would start my business within someone else's business who's already crushing it." And they both said that because they're like, "Why would I go make all the mistakes I made again if I can just learn from someone who's already doing it. So that's kind of what like a captive model is. Because in a captive model, the agency invests way more into the agent. An independent model is great. There's a lot of people who have a lot of success in it. For my goal of starting an insurance carrier, the captive model was the best to go with because we're like-minded people working in the same direction, and it really gives new agents a lot better of a chance starting out because they don't have to like go into lead debt right away. They don't have to spend $1,500 to $2,000 a week on leads and get that credit. They don't have to. But at the same token, it is more of an expense on the agency. So sometimes it's harder. It can be harder to on the agency. Also, when you're captive, especially if you only write one carrier, it's a lot more scalable. I wish we only wrote one carrier, to be honest, from an agency recruiting and training perspective. Because if you only write one carrier, like your training is so much easier. It's like, yo, just go read in the application. That's all you got to do. Read in the application. You're going to find more systems built in for scaling, probably recruiting and things to help out agents in a captive model. And there may be some more benefits in terms of like a longer term stay. Some of them have vesting day one, some of them don't. We don't have vesting day one. Ours is 3 year. That's kind of typical for a captive model. Captive model companies tend to be wanting to lean towards the more prestigious side of things in the sense where like they are the best in the niche. They're competing for that. So if you look like Lincoln Heritage, most of the guys I know that are the most successful in this business, like are either selling just one or a couple carriers, and they grow the fastest, I mean, right? Or they're in a completely captive system. So a little bit here. Usually it's easier to qualify for the conventions and the vacations in a captive model because of how the commissions are laid out. So that's usually a good thing. There's usually more morning meetings and daily calls and infield trainings and meetings in-home sales support. The team building is usually a little bit easier because the support that's involved. Renewals are usually better in a captive LOA model. Even though the renewal percentage is lower, what happens is there's a whole home office staff that's there to make sure those renewals stay on the book. So you actually end up making more renewals because you may have a smaller percentage, but like they're all staying on. And if anybody switches a bank account or has, not all of them, but much higher percent. So you end up having like more renewals for longer, and you don't have to like stop and retire and manage your whole book of business. So, and there's different types of structures in there, and every captive situation is going to be a little different. So that's a hard question to like, answer like right on the dot. But there are people I know who do well in either of them. How can you create a live transfer with Facebook leads? Okay, so how do you create? He said Rablaze World. How can you create a live transfer with Facebook leads? Your other video gave me tons of leads. Okay, cool. So to generate live transfers with Facebook leads, what I would do is hire a virtual assistant. So you're going to want to Google, and I'll share my screen here for you guys because I've had some people say, how do I hire a virtual assistant? And I've said Google, and they just didn't know what to do. So hire virtual assistant. And you guys want to say hi to Leia. She's making a guest appearance tonight. Say hello. What you got to say to the team? So we're going to Google hire virtual assistant right here. And 27 best freelance virtual assistants to hire. Let's just call and see what Upwork has, how much they cost. $15.85 an hour. Oh my God, Margaret, you are a little overzealous there. God. Okay. I wonder what else comes with that. Okay. So now we got, all right, let's see what else. Well, virtual assistant Philippines. We'll just do this. The Filipino virtual assistants that I work with they are, no offense to any of my, if you work with me, if you're an employee of mine, which I have some employees, if you're an employee of mine, you will completely side with me that the Filipino virtual assistants that we have are the hardest working people in our entire agency, like hands down. Okay, virtual assistant companies in the Philippines. So look at this. Hubstaff did this awesome thing to find out the tasks. So $220 for 20 hours, $300 for 10 hours, $540 for 6 hours, $1560 for 240 hours. Virtual staff finder. OVA virtual world-class virtual assistants. Pricing 20 hours for $145 a week. So you get someone for 20 hours of work for $145 a week. That's $725 an hour. You could get someone cheaper, but what happens is there's like a VA broker. Okay, so you're when you go through these websites, it's like some guy has or girl has a source of like a bunch of people who want to be virtual assistants, and then they broker them to you. So it gets cheaper, as you can see, the more they work. But all you would do is you would just go to this website, OVA Virtual. Let's go here. And then we would go get it. Oh, that's a picture. OVA Virtual. How do I go to your website? Okay, well, I guess I can't. But I would just go to OVA Virtual. There's no link, but I would just search for it. So I would search for OVA Virtual, Philippines Virtual Assistant, virtualstaff.ph, the Philippines marketing or outsourcing marketplace. Safest place to hire virtual staff in the Philippines. Find staff. Woohoo! So, $6 an hour, $3.75 an hour. I am a humble and hardworking person. I am trainable, can learn fast. The great thing about virtual assistants is that they don't ask questions. Like, not to be a mean thing, and I like free thinking, but when I'm like, yo, just read this script, and that's all you got to do. Call people and read the script. You're going to have to pay for a CRM for them or a VoIP line. But I would hire a virtual assistant like this, okay? And then I would, I have a live transfer script. So what I would do is I would give this to them, okay? And I'm going to show my email. Why is this not coming up? Okay, here we go. Okay. And then what I would do is I would call them, hi, James. Hi, James, this is Sharon with Senior Benefits. How are you? Great. Well, the reason for my call is that this number requested a life insurance quote at some point in the past. Now, just to confirm, you're still in the state of Texas, right? Yes. And just to make sure I'm talking with the right person, your full name is whatever? Yes. Cool. So what you would do, you get a CRM that you can upload all these names into. You can use Go High Level. That way you can have access to it too. You can use VanillaSoft. I know VanillaSoft is more expensive now than it used to be because it needs 6 months up front. You can use Ringy. You can use a bunch of them. You take all those leads and you upload them into the CRM. You pay this person to call them and bring them through that script I just showed you. And then when they're done and they go through that script, you get them to push them to your phone. Okay? Or schedule a callback time with you if you're not available. So that's how you do it, guys. That's all you got to do is do this to hire a virtual assistant there. So, yep. VA in Philippines. What is a good average cost on Facebook leads? Watch your YouTube video on it. So, cost for FB leads. I'm going to make another video on that. Okay, cool. Like, how do you drive down the cost of your Facebook leads? I'll make a video on that. But good average cost really depends on your marketing radius and like how specific you are and also how high intent your ads are. So you can have, I wouldn't look at cost of leads, Carl. I'd look at cost per acquisition. And that's why for mine, it was like, I want this person to call me. Like, I want to have a live call with this individual who's clicking on this form. I don't want to lose them because they got to type in too much information. I want to get a live call with this person on the phone right now. And I noticed that the inbound calls from Facebook were the easiest leads that I would ever close. My agents were so spoiled. So to answer your question, what is a good average cost in Facebook leads? I'd say, you know, if you're going multi-state, like $4 or $5 each. Anybody, do you guys kind of conclude with that? $4 or $5 each for multi-state Facebook leads? If anybody here is running them. Yeah, there's a couple things that you can do to... what I found, too, is that when you use a landing page, your cost per lead increases, but my cost per acquisition went down. So they're higher intent. Do you have a video on doing the inbound leads on Facebook? Yes, I do. I have a video how to generate inbound calls from Facebook leads. I may change the title and thumbnail of that so that that video suggests it. So title and TN of inbound call video. So in the metadata in it. So I got to make sure that when someone watches my Facebook ad video that it pushes them to my the inbound call video. Carl, that's okay. How many? You may not be way off though. Like, how many states are you advertising in, Carl? And take a picture of your ads and send them to me. Currently 6, yeah. Take a picture of your ads and send them to me. JBE at thejbe.com. Take a snippet of your your Facebook ads manager, and then email it to me, and I'll look at it and I'll let you know some tweaks that you could possibly make to improve it. And then like a final, you can click to preview the ad, do the different combinations that you have there. I would take a snippet of the ad set, and then the ad itself and that page, and then take a picture of the previews. Send them all to me, and I'll take a look at them, and I'll just see if I can let you know anything to tweak or change on there. Do you have a video? Oh, yeah. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to find that video here. Inbound final expense calls from Facebook. Inbound Facebook final expense. So I'm sure if you just search inbound, yeah. So if you just do this and search, it's got 1,000 views. So, but my thumbnail could probably be a little better. So if you look, generate inbound final expense calls from Facebook ads. Okay. So, and these are my ads on how to make final expense Facebook ads. So if you want to learn how to make final expense Facebook ads, just literally watch this video. It's a pretty good overview of it. And then you want to learn how to generate inbound calls, watch that one. And then this is 5 tips for final expense Facebook ads. Okay. When working with a captive agency, is it frowned upon to purchase one's own leads on top of what the agency is already providing? It's not frowned upon. I just wouldn't do it. It doesn't really make sense to me to do it. I don't know why it wouldn't make sense to want to do it, because at our agency, Darren, we buy leads for our agents, or we generate leads for our agents, right? So like if you buy leads from a vendor, okay, their job, they want to make as much profit on the lead as possible, but they also want you coming back, okay? So you don't have full control over the ad. Meaning they want to sell you the cheapest lead, but also the lead that will get you some sales so that you keep coming back. So it's not always like, if they sell you a lead that's super high intent and more expensive, yeah, it may, you may end up costing less to make each sale. But what happens is that you're going to go somewhere else, because someone's going to be like, well, my Facebook leads are $12 and theirs are 25. What if they filled out like everything with their health information and had an appointment booked to want to talk to you? So what I'm really getting at is, I would not buy leads if your IMO provides the leads, and this is why. Because we only make a nickel if our agents make $1. So we will only make money if our agents make sales. If our agents don't make sales, we don't make any money. So it's important that we do our best to provide the best leads possible for the lowest cost per acquisition. So we want the highest intent leads that you can possibly get. We run telemarketing leads here. So our leads, we do telemarketing leads, and yeah, so telemarketing callback leads. And people have asked about that too. Telemarketing callback leads, final expense. You just Google's an amazing thing. Final telemarketing callback leads. I noticed that the telemarketing callback leads here, final expense, David Duford has the lead jerk, final expense telemarketing leads. So let's look at telemarketing leads, what they cost from the lead jerk. Does look like a jerk. I'm sure he's a good dude though. Although if that's him, the skin complexion doesn't really match up. But let's see what his costs are. See, it's not even above the fold. Like, dude, what are you doing, man? Like, put it right here. No one wants to see your face. Not to be mean. Order here. Okay. Click the pic below. Why do I have to scroll down? So much work, dude. Just let me buy them. Okay. So 15 for 270. That's a little less than 20. I'll buy 100 for 1600. And yeah, that's what I would do. 100 for 1600. But I would ask for some recordings first. So I would email or call and be like, hey, I want some recordings of your leads, please. Okay. And that, so final expense telemarketing leads. That's what we run. I noticed that an inbound call from Facebook and like the Facebook leads typically had better uh, quality, like business quality, than telemarketing leads. So that's just what I noticed. Less fell off the books. I noticed that a lot more fell off the books when we switched to telemarketing leads, but I haven't measured those numbers in a long time, so that may not be the case. Just keep in mind that, like, they're talking to strangers on the phone, like, all day. So, you know. And I found less people with, like, Alzheimer's and dementia from Facebook leads. There wasn't as many people who were, like, incoherent and, like, just, like, yeah. So there's pros and cons with both of them. Okay, any other questions? We got 12 concurrent viewers right here. This is pretty sweet. So we're going to wrap this up in just a few minutes here. I want to see if anybody else has any questions for me. Any other questions? ¿Alguien tiene preguntas? Okay, cool. Well, sweet. Well, and send me your unbounced landing page info. Okay, email me. Kelly, yeah, you can watch the replay. Can you make a video on an unbounced landing page? Carl, I already did that. I have a video. How to generate inbound call. What's up, Will? How to generate inbound calls from final expense from Facebook ads. So if you just Google inbound Facebook final expense, it's going to look like this. Google inbound final Facebook final expense, or search it on YouTube. That's my video. I have a whole walkthrough broken up into chapters. So I have how to install your Facebook pixel on the page and how to create the whole thing so that you can have a web page for it. I think I have a video on that. If I don't, Carl, watch this video and then let me know if I don't. Yes, Kelly, you can watch the replay. So game time leads. I don't know what game time leads is, Will. What is that, a lead company, I'm assuming? Game time leads. Oh. Andrew Pryor. I would honestly, I would reach out to, I don't know, I would make my own, or reach out to me. I can hook you up with a buddy of mine. I'm sure he has great leads. The thing is, dude, there's only a couple guys in the business who have been doing Facebook leads for a while. And most people, I mean, everyone's going to say their leads are higher intent, you know? I mean, hey, you know, go ahead, buy them. I mean, the best way to make a high intent lead, to find a high intent lead, or to generate a high intent lead, is to make the ads yourself. And then you know exactly what it says, right? Like, I was running a YouTube ad, and I'll show you what it looked like here with this. I had this video, and I was running an ad with this video here. And so this was super high intent. So I'm going to show you a YouTube ad I made. I made this video. I did the voiceover and everything.
The average funeral costs over $10,000, but the most that Social Security will cover is only $255, leaving a significant financial burden for your loved ones. Are your loved ones prepared for that financial stress? If you are between the ages of 50 and 85, final expense life and
I'm going to restart it.
average funeral costs over $10,000, but the most that Social Security will cover is only $255, leaving a significant financial burden for your loved ones. Are your loved ones prepared for that financial stress? If you are between the ages of 50 and 85, final expense life insurance can help relieve that burden
Okay, let me switch it. Here, I'll kind of rewind it here just so you can see.
85. Final expense life insurance can help relieve that burden by paying up to $50,000 for funeral, cremation, or any other final expenses. There are no medical exams required, and you will have permanent coverage. Your monthly rate can never increase. Your benefits will never decrease. And many of our programs kick in fully from the day you start the policy with no 2-year waiting period. Don't wait any longer. Click the link below to get information on the lowest rates available in your area.
Okay, so that's an ad that yeah, so that's an ad I ran on YouTube. I didn't really dial in the audience, and I definitely could have made it shorter. My leads were coming in at like $20 each on that, but that's pretty high intent. Like, I don't really think that they could. I don't think that they could really mistake that for anything else. Like, it's definitely not free. It's definitely final expense life insurance. Like, someone watches that whole video and fills out a lead form, they want life insurance. So I sold some of them over text message, actually. There were some people I called, and they didn't even answer the phone, and I texted them. I got 2 or 3 sales off it that way. Other ones I got through calling. But I would just text them. And I have a video on my YouTube about exactly how I did it. Texted them what I texted them and what I sent them. And I literally got the sales through text. So it was cool. And most of the people, what you're going to see on YouTube ads, most of the people have iPhones, which I was really surprised. So like 80% of them have iPhones. So one thing you may run into is they may have the silence unknown callers feature on their phone, where it silences people who are calling them that they don't have stored in their contacts. But that doesn't mean you can't text them. So I texted them and I saw them on my phone, and it would come up as blue with the iPhone. I was like, nice, like this is pretty cool. So I know they know what to do. I know that I know that they get the technology thing down. So I was texting them like. I mean, you can see it in the video. I had that lady who bought the $120 a month policy over a text message, and then I called her and we locked it in. She was 82 years old, texting me. Like, that's pretty cool, right? Like 82 texting, like fully in it and with it, and like I had no idea. I asked her out. She was like 82. I'm like, oh wow, okay. So no, she was actually 80. That's right. So yeah. Any other questions, guys? Any other carriers you feel comfortable with? I used to write a lot of. They told me that they would pull my writing number if I talked about them on YouTube. So Royal Neighbors, go ahead, do whatever you want. Don't care. So I used to write a lot of them. But I like Korean music videos. Yeah, Kelly, you have to make sure that they have to make sure it's at the right audience. But Royal Neighbors I wrote with, but I like American Amicable, Prosperity. They are the easiest and most versatile. Well, Prosperity may not be the easiest, but they have very versatile underwriting that complements American Amicable very well. They say they don't take diabetic neuropathy level, but try it. Try it. Try neuropathy with them. And if they come back approved as level, I wouldn't be surprised. So they don't ask about it exactly in the questions. And then American Amicable, great company, super easy app. They have like the best customer service. They're actually they're going to be introducing some cool things to their e-apps. But the thing is, Prosperity does have the bank account verification. American Amicable may be introducing that to their e-app as well, guys. So they may be introducing G-Act. I have a really good relationship with Joe Dunlap, the president of American Amicable. So I was talking to him the other day, and he was at our convention, our sales convention, and he's saying AmAm's working on some good stuff, bringing their non-med term up to 500,000, and also introducing some bank account verification software into the e-app itself. So that's some pretty cool news for AMM. I mean, $500,000 non-med term, like that's pretty cool. I don't think a lot of companies out there do that. Maybe they do. I'm not big on the non-med term stuff, but. All right, cool. Well, we're just nearing the 45-minute mark. I appreciate this, guys. If you have any questions, just email me, jve@thejve.com. I appreciate you guys being here, and I can't wait to see you all next Tuesday for next Tuesday's Telesales Tuesday. What I would like you guys to do for next Tuesday is bring a call recording. If you have a call recording, like write stuff down that you run into in your sales this week, okay? Write stuff down and come bring those questions to me next Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern time. Every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern time, I am going to do this. I don't care if like I'm getting married and it's Tuesday at 5 p.m. I'll be here I'll be there on my live call. So, yeah, I'm going to repost it, Kimberly. Yep. So, come with questions, come with sales call recordings, try to do your ads, come with questions about those. Really, anything goes at all. If you have questions about building an agency, I know a few things about that. I have almost 100 agents. So just like all this stuff, if you need to, one of the best recipes to cook a Yorkie stew in, I don't know those yet. Should I cook you? Should I cook you for dinner? No. So, all right, cool, guys. Thank you so much, and I will be replaying this. This will be posted on my channel.